One of the royals said to me the other day, Harry, if Harry knows what's good for him, he better get out while the getting out is good and possible. If 2 inches from the bottom of a shelf, and then there are lemons everywhere, always lemons. I mean, she's a lemon. She's a lemon. The only thing is she doesn't know how to make lemonade. Has completely blanked the fact that Harry is justified in being seriously worried that if his father doesn't.
A striking claim has emerged from within royal circles, suggesting growing concern about the future of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's relationship and public ventures. According to remarks attributed to a royal insider, Prince Harry has reportedly been warned that his situation could deteriorate significantly if he does not reconsider his current path. The source indicated that, in their view, leaving the situation sooner rather than later might be the only way to prevent further complications. These comments come at a time when scrutiny surrounding the Duke and Duchess of Sussex continues to intensify, particularly regarding Meghan Markle's recent commercial efforts. While the broader royal family has been dealing with a number of separate crises that have dominated headlines, some commentators believe it is worth examining the Sussexes' business activities more closely. Observers argue that the financial performance of their ventures may play an important role in shaping future tensions between the couple and the wider royal institution. Recent criticism has focused heavily on Meghan Markle's attempts to promote products associated with her lifestyle brand. A series of promotional images circulated online this week attracted strong reactions from commentators and media analysts. These images, shared by the Royal News Network alongside critical commentary, depicted marketing displays that some critics described as poorly executed and unconvincing. One example that drew particular attention involved a promotional setup featuring a heritage library set. The display included an open book placed on a table beside a cup of tea, candles, and decorative lemons. Critics argued that the arrangement appeared impractical and even careless. Observers pointed out that placing liquids near open books could easily damage them, while the positioning of lit candles close to shelves raised additional concerns about presentation and safety. For some commentators, the imagery symbolized a wider issue with the brand's marketing strategy. They suggested that the presentation did not effectively appeal to readers or consumers, and instead highlighted what they saw
and definitely
as a lack
caught
of
people's
professional
attention.
planning. Another promotional campaign also became the subject of criticism. This advertisement featured a collection of fruit spreads arranged with several
about
spoons
how
placed
Meghan
around
and
the jars.
Harry
The product line itself reportedly consisted of 3 different spreads, yet the display showed 2 jars with similar red coloring. As a result, viewers found it difficult to distinguish between flavors, such as raspberry and strawberry. Marketing analysts who examined the images argued that product displays should clearly communicate information to consumers. In this case, they said the visual presentation created confusion rather than encouraging interest in the items being sold. Beyond the design of individual advertisements, there are also reports suggesting that the business may be facing practical challenges behind the scenes. Commentators claim that large quantities of unsold inventory remain in stock, prompting repeated promotional emails and bundled product offers in an effort to attract buyers. Some observers believe that failing to introduce significant discounts could ultimately worsen the financial situation. According to this view, holding onto large amounts of perishable products could result in greater losses over time. Amid these concerns, critics have argued that the venture might benefit from experienced marketing professionals who could refine the strategy and improve how the products are presented to potential customers. However, the business difficulties are only one part of a larger story unfolding around the Sussexes. As questions grow about the success of Meghan Markle's commercial ventures, attention is also turning to how these pressures might affect both the couple's relationship and their broader standing within the royal family. And as the debate intensifies, some royal commentators are beginning to paint an increasingly troubling picture of the situation developing behind the scenes, one that may reveal even deeper tensions in the weeks ahead. Concerns surrounding Meghan Markle's business ventures have continued to generate discussion among royal commentators, many of whom describe the situation as increasingly problematic. Observers argue that the difficulties facing her brand are not new, but have been building for some time. According to several critics, the issues stem largely from what they see as inconsistent marketing decisions and a lack of professional presentation. One royal commentator, Lady Colin Campbell, offered particularly blunt criticism when discussing the brand's promotional materials. Speaking during a televised discussion, she suggested that the visual presentations used to advertise the products were poorly conceived and unlikely to appeal to consumers. Campbell pointed to one example that featured an open book placed on a table beside a cup of tea and a lit candle positioned near a shelf. She argued that such a setup would be impractical for anyone who genuinely values books, suggesting that no careful reader would place a drink on an open page next to an exposed flame. The display also included lemons placed around the scene, a detail that Campbell noted appears frequently in Meghan Markle's promotional imagery. According to Campbell, these types of presentations reflect what she believes to be a deeper problem with the brand's overall strategy. She described the marketing approach as misguided and suggested that the business has struggled to create a coherent identity capable of attracting long-term customer interest. Financial questions have also surfaced regarding how the venture was funded. Campbell claimed that Prince Harry may have played a significant role in financing the initial production of the brand's inventory. According to her account, the couple's media partner, Netflix, declined to invest in or distribute the products, leaving the responsibility for funding the stock elsewhere. If accurate, this claim would indicate that the venture required a considerable personal financial commitment. Critics argue that such a situation increases the pressure on the brand to perform well commercially. Without strong sales, the investment tied up in unsold products could create additional strain. Observers have also pointed to reports that the brand currently holds a large amount of inventory. This has reportedly led to frequent promotional campaigns aimed at encouraging customers to purchase items through bundled offers and ongoing marketing emails. However, marketing specialists often warn that excess stock can become an even greater challenge when products are not discounted quickly enough. If items remain unsold for extended periods, particularly food products with limited shelf lives, the potential financial losses can grow over time. Because of this, some commentators have suggested that the venture might require a more structured business strategy moving forward. Hiring experienced professionals, they argue, could help address problems related to branding, product presentation, and distribution. The situation has also raised broader questions about expectations surrounding the Sussexes' financial future. After stepping back from official royal duties, the couple entered into several high-profile media agreements and commercial projects. Many observers initially believed these opportunities could lead to significant long-term wealth. Yet critics now argue that the reality may be proving far more complicated. If business ventures fail to generate the expected revenue, the couple could face growing financial pressures that might eventually influence their relationship with the royal family as well. For some royal analysts, this possibility represents a potential nightmare scenario for the monarchy. They warn that financial stress could lead to increasingly attention-grabbing public actions by the Sussexes as they attempt to maintain media visibility and income streams. At the same time, reports suggest that Prince Harry may have concerns of his own about the future. Commentators claim he could be increasingly aware that his position within the royal structure and the titles connected to it may not be guaranteed indefinitely. If circumstances within the monarchy were to change, the implications for branding and commercial opportunities could be significant. And according to some observers, that possibility may already be weighing heavily on the couple's situation. As questions about finances and reputation continue to mount, attention is now turning to another controversy involving Prince Harry, one that has drawn criticism from international officials and added a new dimension to the ongoing debate. Beyond the concerns surrounding commercial ventures and finances, Prince Harry has recently drawn attention for his involvement in international political discussions, an issue that has sparked criticism from commentators and officials alike. The controversy intensified following remarks he made during a televised interview in which he discussed the situation in Gaza. The comments quickly prompted a response from Israeli officials. Israel's deputy foreign minister publicly rejected Prince Harry's claims, stating that the remarks repeated narratives that she described as demonstrably false. Her response included pointed criticism, suggesting that such statements raised serious questions about accuracy and responsibility when discussing complex geopolitical issues. Under normal circumstances, analysts say such a public disagreement between a royal figure and a foreign government could have created a major diplomatic controversy for the United Kingdom. However, the timing of the situation has meant it has not dominated headlines to the same degree it might have otherwise. A number of other developments within the royal family and the wider international political climate have drawn significant attention in recent weeks. Still, some commentators argue that the issue cannot simply be ignored. The central concern, they say, is that Prince Harry and Meghan Markle despite stepping back from official royal duties, continue to be associated with the monarchy in the public eye. As a result, any political statements they make risk being interpreted as carrying royal weight, even when they are speaking in a personal capacity. Lady Colin Campbell expressed this view during the same discussion, arguing that members of the royal family traditionally avoid political involvement, particularly when it concerns highly sensitive international disputes. According to Campbell, the situation in Gaza represents a deeply complicated and volatile issue with competing claims and narratives from multiple sides. She noted that Israel maintains that humanitarian aid continues to enter the region, while representatives in Gaza claim that although some aid arrives, it is not enough and often fails to reach the areas where it is most urgently needed. These conflicting accounts highlight the complexity of the situation, making it difficult for outside figures to comment without risking misinterpretation or controversy. Campbell argued that by inserting themselves into such debates, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle risk entangling themselves in disputes far larger and more complicated than they may realize. In her view, this involvement could have broader political implications because of the couple's continued association with the British royal family. Another concern raised by commentators relates to how the couple's public appearances and statements may affect their image internationally. Critics suggest that speaking on controversial political matters could complicate efforts to maintain neutrality, something the royal institution traditionally prioritizes. Campbell also suggested that some observers believe the couple's political commentary may be connected to efforts to maintain public attention and relevance. According to this interpretation, appearing engaged in global issues could help reinforce an image of international influence, particularly when the couple undertakes trips or public appearances abroad. However, critics warn that such actions could create challenges, not only for the couple but also for the British monarchy. When royal-linked figures comment on contentious political situations, it can raise questions about the monarchy's position, even if the palace itself has not authorized or endorsed those remarks. The timing of these debates is particularly sensitive given the broader international environment. Ongoing geopolitical tensions and shifting alliances mean that statements made by prominent public figures can quickly become part of wider diplomatic discussions. For that reason, some commentators believe Prince Harry's decision to speak publicly on such matters may have complicated an already delicate situation. Yet while the political controversy continues to generate headlines, another development has also captured attention, one that involves the couple's public appearances together and the subtle signals observers believe may reveal tensions within their relationship. And it is that issue, focusing on their behavior during recent engagements, that is now prompting a new wave of speculation about what may be happening behind closed doors. While debate over political comments and business ventures continues, another topic has drawn increasing attention from commentators: the public dynamic between Prince Harry and Meghan Markle during recent appearances. Observers analyzing footage from a recent trip noted moments of body language that they interpreted as unusual, prompting questions about the state of the couple's relationship. During the discussion, the host referred to several instances where Meghan Markle appeared to reach for Prince Harry's hand while they were walking together. According to those present in the conversation, there were moments when the Duke of Sussex seemed to pull away or avoid the gesture. While such moments were brief, they were repeatedly highlighted by commentators who analyze royal appearances closely. These observations led to speculation among some analysts about whether the couple may be experiencing tension behind the scenes. Body language experts and royal watchers often examine small gestures, posture, and facial expressions during public engagements in an effort to interpret relationships and emotions. However, such interpretations remain subjective and cannot always provide definitive conclusions. Lady Colin Campbell was asked to comment on the footage and the perceived signals it might reveal. According to her assessment, the dynamic between the couple has appeared strained for some time. She suggested that ongoing pressures, ranging from public scrutiny to financial challenges, could potentially influence any relationship. Campbell also referred to earlier remarks attributed to a royal insider, who reportedly warned that Prince Harry might face serious consequences if he did not reconsider his situation. The implication of those comments, according to Campbell, was that the difficulties surrounding the couple could eventually lead to outcomes that are damaging for both individuals. In discussing the broader context, Campbell suggested that Prince Harry may increasingly recognize the seriousness of the challenges facing him. At the same time, she argued that leaving the situation would not necessarily resolve every problem. According to her interpretation, even if such a step were taken, it could still lead to a highly public and contentious situation. The conversation also touched on the possibility of future disputes becoming public. Commentators suggested that any major breakdown in the relationship could result in further accusations and intense media coverage. Such developments, they argued, would likely attract enormous attention given the global profile of both individuals. At the same time, Campbell emphasized that Prince Harry should not be viewed solely as a passive figure in the situation. In her view, he has played an active role in many of the decisions that have shaped the couple's current circumstances. As a result, she suggested that responsibility for the outcome cannot be attributed to only one side. Despite these criticisms, some analysts also acknowledge the complexity of the situation. The couple's lives have been under extraordinary public scrutiny for years, and every appearance or comment is often examined in minute detail. This level of attention can sometimes amplify relatively small moments into major headlines. Beyond the discussion of their relationship, the program eventually shifted to another issue affecting the royal family, one involving Princess Beatrice and Princess Eugenie. New reporting suggested that the daughters of Prince Andrew could be facing a quieter form of royal exclusion following renewed attention surrounding their father's past controversies. According to reports cited during the discussion, Buckingham Palace may be reconsidering the role the two princesses play at certain royal events. Analysts noted that such decisions could signal a broader effort by the monarchy to manage public perception during a period already filled with challenges. As these developments unfold, the question now being asked by many royal watchers is how the younger generation of royals will navigate the growing pressure, and what it could mean for the future image of the monarchy itself. Those concerns would soon lead to a deeper conversation about the position of Princess Beatrice and Princess Eugenie, and whether their royal status could ultimately become more of a burden than a benefit. Attention has recently shifted toward another branch of the royal family, as new reporting raises questions about the current status of Princess Beatrice and Princess Eugenie within royal circles. According to coverage cited during the discussion, the two sisters may now be experiencing what some commentators have described as a form of quiet royal distancing. The report, written by royal commentator Richard Palmer for the newspaper, suggests that the mood within Buckingham Palace has changed in recent months. According to the article, King Charles may now believe that the daughters of Prince Andrew should remain away from certain royal public occasions, at least for the time being. Previously, the king had reportedly maintained that Princess Beatrice and Princess Eugenie were not responsible for the controversies surrounding their father and therefore deserved to retain their positions and privileges. However, the new report claims that several developments linking them, however indirectly, to the Jeffrey Epstein scandal may have influenced a shift in thinking within palace circles. As a result, royal aides are said to have quietly reduced support for the sisters' presence at major royal events. Observers say the first indication of this change may come during upcoming royal gatherings, including the traditional Easter service at Windsor. Royal watchers are expected to closely monitor whether Beatrice and Eugenie appear alongside other members of the royal family. In recent months, both princesses have already maintained relatively low public profiles. The report noted that they are not expected to attend several major royal events, including the Commonwealth Day service at Westminster Abbey and the Trooping the Colour celebration later in the year. However, analysts pointed out that their absence from these particular occasions may not be unusual, since the king has often limited attendance at such events to working members of the royal family. Where the situation could become more significant, according to the article, is if the sisters are excluded from more personal royal occasions. Family events such as Christmas gatherings or the traditional carriage procession at Royal Ascot would normally include a wider circle of relatives. Their absence from such moments could signal a more serious effort to distance the monarchy from the controversies surrounding the House of York. The long-term implications of such a shift remain uncertain. Princess Beatrice and Princess Eugenie both maintain private careers and do not represent the monarchy in official roles on the national or international stage. Nevertheless, their royal titles have historically been part of their public identity and have played a role in shaping their professional opportunities. Some analysts believe this situation could eventually lead to difficult decisions about how the sisters present themselves publicly. A constitutional expert quoted in the report suggested that it may even raise the question of whether they would be better off no longer using their royal titles. However, others strongly disagree with that view and argue that such suggestions overlook the personal and historical significance attached to royal rank. During the discussion, Lady Colin Campbell responded by expressing sympathy for the princesses. She argued that neither woman has been personally accused of wrongdoing and that it would be unfair to hold them responsible for the actions or controversies involving their parents. In her view, A temporary withdrawal from public attention could simply be a practical way to allow the situation to settle. The broader conversation ended with a lighter note, turning briefly to the disappointing performance of a recently released royal-themed book by commentator Omid Scobie. According to reports discussed during the program, the book had ranked extremely low in U.S. sales charts, leading some commentators to question the future of the author's career. With controversies continuing to surround multiple figures connected to the monarchy, from the Sussexes' business struggles and political statements to the uncertain status of the York sisters, it is clear that the royal family remains under intense scrutiny. How these stories develop in the months ahead will likely determine whether the current period proves to be a temporary storm or part of a longer chapter of challenges for the institution.